In a world where knowledge is often pursued without wisdom, and faith is sometimes practiced without understanding, Dr. Jose Rizal reminds us of a timeless truth that education and religion must go hand in hand. In his powerful poem, The Intimate Alliance Between Religion and Good Education, Rizal emphasizes that true learning is not just about acquiring facts, but about shaping character. He believed that a well-educated individual must also be morally upright, guided by both reason and faith. This alliance, according to Rizal, is the foundation of a just, compassionate, and enlightened society. Through his words, we are invited to reflect on how the harmony between intellect and virtue can lead to national and personal transformation. So here is our learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, the students will be able to describe the life, background, and contributions of Dr. Jose Rizal, particularly as a national hero and writer. Explain the central theme of the poem, The Intimate Alliance Between Religion and Good Education, and its relevance to society. Identify and analyze the purpose behind Rizal's composition of the poem and how it reflects his values and beliefs. And lastly, express personal insights and interpretations of the poem connecting its message to contemporary life and personal experiences. Dr. Rosero Portracio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda is recognized as the national hero of the Philippines. He was born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Laguna. He was a polyglot, poet, writer, doctor, painter, and scientist. But above all, he was a patriot who dedicated his life to the freedom of the Philippines from Spanish colonization. He was not a revolutionary through violent means. Instead, he believed the power of education, writing, and peaceful change to liberate the nation. Rizal was a child prodigy. He learned to read and write at an early age with the help of his mother, Teodora Alonso. He entered Ateneo Municipal de Manila, where he graduated with highest honors or sobresaliente. Afterward, he studied medicine at the University of Santo Tomas and continued his studies at the Universidad Central de Madrid in Spain. There, he earned his medical degree and also learned many languages. He mastered more than 20. Aside from medicine, he was passionate about research and writing. In fact, during his stay in Europe, he wrote his famous novels No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo, which criticizes the corruption of the church and government in the Philippines. Rizal did not believe in violence as a mean of change. For him, true education could only be achieved through education, intellectual and development, and unity. Through his writings, he sought to awaken the consciousness of Filipinos, expose the injustices of the system, and encourage them to stand up in a peaceful manner. He also founded La Liga Filipina, an organization aimed at uniting Filipinos to work toward reforms within the colonial system, not through arms but through unity, education, and morality. In summary, Dr. Jose Rizal was not only a hero, but a model of an educated Filipino with a deep sense of patriotism. His life reminds us that learning and love for country must go in hand, and just like in his poem, The Intimate Alliance Between Religion and Good Education, he believed that education must be guided by good values and faith in order to be meaningful.
Kalagayang panlipunan at pang-edukasyon noong panahon ng mga Espanyol. So una, ang lipunang Pilipino ay nahati sa mga uri, Kastila, Mestizo, Indio at Chino. So noong panahon ng mga Espanyol, mahigpit ang sistemang panlipunan. Ang mga Kastilang ipinanganak sa Espanya ang pinakamataas. Sinundan ng mga Kastilang ipinanganak sa Pilipinas, Insulares. Mestizo at ang pinakamababa ay ang mga Indio o katutubong Pilipino, apektado nito ang karapatang pantao, kabilang na ang edukasyon. So pangalawa, hindi para sa lahat ang edukasyon, para lamang ito sa mga mayayaman at makapangyarihan. Ang edukasyon ay nakalaan lamang sa mga anak ng mayayaman at may dugong Kastila. So, ang mga karaniwang Pilipino, lalo na ang mga Indio, ay bihirang makapasok sa paaralan. Dahil dito, nanatili silang mangmang at sunod-sunuran sa mga mananakop. Pangatlo, layunin ng edukasyon ang pagtuturo ng relihiyon at katapatan sa Espanya. So, hindi layunin ng edukasyon noon ang pagpapalawak ng kaalaman. Ginamit ito bilang kasangkapan upang ikalat ang Kristyanismo at panatilihing tapat ang mga Pilipino sa pamahalaang Espanyol. Pang-apat, karamihan sa mga katutubong Pilipino ay hindi nabigyan ng formal na edukasyon. Hindi lahat ay nakapag-aral. Kung meron mang pagkakataon, kadalasan ay limitadong aralin lang ang tungkol sa relihiyon ang natutunan. Panglima, itinuro sa paaralan ang pagbasa, pagsulat at relihiyon, karaniwan sa wikang Kastila o Latin. Ang mga asignaturang tinuturo ay simple lamang: pagbasa, pagsulat at katisismo. Madalas ay sa Kastila o Latin ito tinuturo, kaya't hindi ito agad nauunawaan ng mga Pilipino. So, pang-anim, kakaunti lamang ang pagkakataong makapag-aral sa mataas na antas at kontrolado pa rin ito ng simbahan. So, may ilang kolehiyo tulad ng Universidad ng Santo Tomas, ngunit ito ay para lamang sa piling ng mga estudyante. At kahit sa kolehiyo, ang simbahan pa rin ang may kontrol sa kurikulum. Paano kontrolado ng simbahan estado ang edukasyon? Una, ang simbahang Katoliko ang pangunahing humawak sa edukasyon sa pamamagitan ng mga ordan relihiyoso. Ang mga paaralan ay pinamumunuan ng mga grupong relihiyoso gaya ng mga Hesweta at Dominikano. Sila ang nagtakda ng mga aralin at patakaran. Pangalawa, nakatuon ang edukasyon sa doktrinang Katoliko, moralidad at pagsunod. Ang pangunahing layunin ay ang turuan ang mga mag-aaral ng relihiyon, mabuting asal at ang pagiging masunurin sa otoridad. Pangatlo, sinusuportahan ng pamahalaang Espanyol ang simbahan sa pagkontrol ng edukasyon. Nagtulungan ang simbahan at pamahalaan upang mas madaling makontrol ang mga Pilipino. Ginamit ang edukasyon bilang paraan upang mapanatili ang kapangyarihan sa kolonya. Pang-apat, karamihan ng mga paaralan ay nasa tabi ng simbahan o kumbento. Ang mga praile ang nagsisilbing guro. Ang mga paaralan ay kalimitang nakakabit sa simbahan. Ang mga pari at praile ang nagtuturo, kaya't puro relihiyon ang laman ng edukasyon. Panglima, hindi pinalaganap ang malayang pag-iisip o pagkakilanlan bilang Pilipino. Ang edukasyon ay hindi naghihikayat ng pagmamahal sa sariling bayan o malayang pag-iisip. Ayaw ng mga Espanyol na magising ang damdaming makabayan ng mga Pilipino.
The ultimate alliance between religion and education of Dr. Jose Rizal is a poem that explores the vital connection between faith and learning. This suggests that true education is not just about knowledge, but also about morality and spirituality. Religion provides the foundation of morality and purpose to education, teaching individuals to use their knowledge for good and for more meaningful life. So, some notable lines from the poem of Dr. Jose Rizal are: as the climbing ivy over leafy elm creeps tortuously together to adornment of the verdant plain, embellishing each other and together growing. So, this line shows the interconnected nature of education and religion, that education becomes more meaningful and effective when it has a moral foundation from religion, and religion becomes more practical and relevant to daily life when it is lived out through education. Another notable line is, without religion, human education is like unto a vessel shocked with waves, which sore vessel is of its helm deprived. So, education without religion is compared to a ship without a rudder lost at sea. So, this line emphasizes the importance of moral guidance in education. Without religion to provide direction and purpose, knowledge can be used for bad purposes or loses its meaning. And lastly, is, if the religion wholly nourishes education with its doctrine, she shall walk in joy and generosity toward the good, and everywhere pursue the fragrant and luxuriant fruit of virtue. So this line shows the positive fruits of combining religion and education. Religion provides moral foundation for education, leading to a life of goodness, service to others, and achievement of good purpose.
Let's talk about the theme of the poem, A Harmonious Union, Religion and Education in Rizal's Vision. The poem explores the idea that religion and good education can work together in harmony to create a just and enlightened society. Rizal believed religion and education are very important for creating a fair and advanced society. He thought they should work together, not separately. A fair society treats everyone equally. An advanced society encourages learning and free thinking. Both good moral values, often from religion, and a good education are needed to build this kind of society. Rizal believed education should foster a strong moral compass, guided by compassion and justice, not blind obedience. Rizal thought education should teach people to be good and just. It's not just about following rules, it's about understanding what's right and wrong. Education helps people develop strong moral values, which leads to fairer society. It teaches compassion and doing the right thing. He emphasized critical thinking and intellectual curiosity, seeing education as a path to understand the world and challenging dogma. For Rizal, education means learning to think carefully and question ideas. It's about learning and understanding the world using reason, not just believing things without thinking. This way of thinking is essential for progress and a society based on facts, not just beliefs. It encourages questioning what we are told. Rizal saw education as a means to empower individuals to lead fulfilling lives, with religion as a potential source of meaning and purpose. Rizal believed education helps people live satisfying lives. It helps them find out what they're good at and what gives their lives meaning. Religion can be helpful, but it shouldn't control people's thoughts. A good life is one that is both meaningful and makes you happy. Education gives people the power to shape their own lives.
Layunin ni Rizal sa pagsusulat ng tulang ito ay upang itaguyod ang balansing edukasyon. Isang edukasyong pinagsasama ang moral na pagpahalaga at karunungan. Naniniwala siya na ang edukasyon ay dapat magsisilbing gabay sa tamang pamumuhay ng bawat isa. Isa sa mga nais baguhin ni Rizal ay ang kaisipan ng mga Pilipino. Hinikayat niya ang malayang pag-iisip at hindi lang basta pagsunod sa utos. Sa pamamagitan ng edukasyon, nais niyang bigyang kapangyarihan ang bawat Pilipino upang mag-isip at kumilos para sa ikabubuti ng sarili at ng bayan. Para kay Rizal, ang edukasyon ay mas makapangyarihan kaysa dahas. Sa halip na revolusyon o karahasan, mas pinili niyang itaguyod ang pag-unlad sa pamamagitan ng kaalaman. Sa ganitong paraan, mas mabubuo ang isang lipunang may moralidad, katalinuhan at malasakit sa bayan. Ang mensahe ni Rizal ay malinaw, turuan ng isip at ang puso. Hanggang ngayon, ang kanyang pananawagan ay may saysay pa rin. Kailangan pa rin natin ng edukasyong may layuning hubugin ang kabuuan ng isang tao upang magdulot ng tunay na pagbabago sa lipunan.
Contextualization. Jose Rizal's poem, The Intimate Alliance Between Religion and Good Education, reflects the complex relationship between education and religion in the Philippines during his time. Rizal's poem highlights the shortcomings of the educational system in the Philippines during his time. The poem criticizes the lack of emphasis on critical thinking and moral development. So, kaning poem of Rizal is reflects on the situation in the Philippines during the Spanish colonial period, which where education was tightly controlled by the Spanish friars at that time. Access to quality education was limited, and what was taught often served the interest of the colonizers. Education was more about religious indoctrination than developing critical thinking or personal growth. Rizal saw that the lack of true education, one that encourages morality, reason, and intellectual development, keep many Filipinos ignorant and submissive. Religion, which should guide Filipino toward goodness, was instead being used to control and limit learning. He believed that genuine education, that true religion should work together to uplift individuals and society. Through the poem, Rizal criticizes how the alliance between religion and education was being misused and calls for a balance, where religion supports moral development and education enlightens the mind of Filipino people. He wanted Filipinos to be free from ignorance and empowered to think, act morally, and improve their lives.
So now let's proceed for contextualizing and analyzing one of the writings of Rizal, which is the intimate alliance between religion and good education. So there is a suwat ni Rizal, iyag emphasize that religion and education should be a foundation of each individual. Kay kung ang individual will have lack of knowledge, dali ra siya kanang mailad. And if individual have lack of faith or pagtuo, other people easily influence ana nga tao. So, ang kani siya, ang duha ani, which is education and religion, is dapat kanang balance siya in order to shape our intellectual and moral kanang values or character development. So, as we all observe in our current situation, where the advancement of digital technologies lead to the over-reliance of every individual on social media, where spreading fake news are very rampant with the aid of the internet. So, with these two aspects of that I mentioned in Rizal's poem, so diri nato magamit ang atong critical thinking and also our moral values, which is knowing what is right and wrong. So, sa paggamit natong social media, we need to be a literate kanang user. So, dapat kahibaw ta kung unsa ang kanang kung tinuod ba na siya or dili, or sakto ba na siya or dili. We need to be a media information literate individual with using the digital or other digital platforms. So to summarize it all, so there is a Rizal's poem, diri gyud niya highlights of the importance of the strong connection between religion and kanang education. Diri suggests that true personal or societal growth in both moral values and intellectual development. Rizal argues that faith and learning must go hand in hand, that education gives light to the mind, and while the religion gives guides in our heart. So Rizal wrote this in order to inspire Filipinos, especially to the youth to pursue knowledge without losing their sense of right and wrong. So today, the poem remains relevant, reminding us that in a world full of information and challenges, we need both wisdom and virtue to build a just and enlightened society. So ang final message ni Rizal or kanang kuan sa mga katawhan is true enlightenment and national progress require both wisdom and virtue, developing both the mind and the spirit.
Magandang araw. Ako po si Karen Mi, ang reporter pang-8. Ngayon ay ibabahagi ko ang konklusyon at kahalagahan sa kasalukuyan. Pagtatapos ng aming pag-uulat, nais naming bigyang diin ang mahalagang ambag ni Dr. Jose Rizal sa larangan ng edukasyon. Bilang isang edukado, makabayan at reformistang Pilipino, malaki ang paniniwala ni Rizal ng edukasyon at moral na paghubog ay mahalagang susi sa pag-unlad ng isang bansa. Unang panahon ng pananakop ng mga Espanyol, ang sistema ng edukasyon ay mahigpit na kontrolado ng simbahan at ng Estado. Limitado lamang ito sa mga araling panrelihiyon at hindi nito hinahayaan ang mga Pilipino na linangin ang malayang pag-iisip. Sa pamamagitan ng kanyang mga isinusulat, partikular na sa kanyang tula, ipinakita ni Rizal ang kahalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng balanse sa pagitan ng pananampalataya at edukasyon. Layunin niya ang makabuo ng mga mamayang hindi lamang matalino, kundi may matatag na pagpapahalaga at mabuting asal. Kuyang panahon na nanatiling makabuluhan at napapanahon ang mensahe ni Rizal. Bagamat moderno na ang ating panahon, patuloy pa rin nating nararanasan ang mga suliranin tulad ng kakulangan sa akses sa dekalidad na edukasyon, hindi makabagong sistema ng pagtuturo at ang unti-unting pagkalimot sa mga moral na prinsipyo. Dahil dito, ang pananaw ni Rizal ay patuloy na nagsisilbing gabay sa pagpapatibay ng ating sistemang pang-edukasyon. Nanawagan para sa isang holistikong edukasyon, isang edukasyong naglalayong hubugin ng isipan, at ang puso ay isang paalala sa ating lahat na ang tunay na layunin ng pag-aaral ay ang maging mabuting mamayan na may kakayahang tumulong sa ikauunlad ng bayan. Hanggang ngayon, ang mga kaisipan ni Rizal ay nagbibigay inspirasyon sa mga reforma para sa edukasyon at pambansang kaunlaran.